Welcome to step 0 in our tutorial about geometry nodes. Let's start. What's a node? A point at which two lines or system meet or cross. A place where things such as line or system join. A basic unit used to build data structure, a point of connection in communication network. There are some applications, some software used to post-production, texturing, visual effects like Nuke, Natron, DaVinci Resolve, the System Designer, Houdini, that are node-based like Blender. Where can we find nodes in Blender? Right now we can use node when we work with materials, when we are setting our world in the compositor, or with modifier like in geometry nodes. There's a long-term project called Everything Nodes that want to make everything we can do in Blender with nodes. It's going to allow us to make everything with node. In the node we have the node title, that is the name of the node. We have sockets, input socket, output socket. We got like a kind of arrow that we can collapse or expand our node, and it's going to show only the socket, not the whole node. And we got properties. Maybe some node have more characteristics. Every socket has a color. These colors determine what kind of data we are going to be working. We got built-in like geometry shader, data like data types like boolean, color, float, integer, string, vector, all data blocks like collection, object, material, texture, image, and every color. If we have a socket, output socket, we need to connect with an input socket the same color. It's like a rule we have to follow. We can, of course, connect a different one, but we have to know what we are doing. Normally we have input node that have an output. We got output node that have an input. And in the middle we have action node. It's not officially called this way, but I'm calling that way for explanation. This action node have inputs and outputs, and the flow we are going to follow is the start is on the left and the end is on the right. It's from left to right. This type of node, a mixed node, is not called this way, of course. It's just for explanation. We have two inputs and we got a factor that we can change. If we got in the middle, we have half of this input and half of this input. And if we have maybe 0, we are going to have only this input is going to be to the output. And if we get 1, only this input is going to be to the output. If we want to connect nodes to make a tree like this, we have to know the output socket. We can take more than one connection. But if we have input socket, round input socket, we are going to get only one input. We can't connect two outputs to one input. But right now in geometry node, with geometry node is created this kind of node, that is join nodes. With join nodes, we got this elongated circle or capsule where we can connect more than one output here in the input. We have 2 or 3 nodes connected to this kind of input. This is a very special node called join node. As equivalent example, we have in real life a conveyor. conveyor belt in a factory. We got the input here, and the output here. And we got this input has an output that is something that comes from here, and we got an input here that get in this output. Then we can see in node, we see the input node, the output, and the inputs in the output node. Remember, if we have bottles, empty bottles that come from the input, we are going to have the same empty bottle at the output. And we haven't done any transformation or anything to this line. Then this is the conveyor, it's the line that connects the input with the output. But if we add another node, we call it node, but it's a stage where we got the empty bottles, and with juice we are going to fill them with juice. And this juice, then we got this node who is going to be changing empty bottle to a filled bottle. Then it's filled with the orange juice. Then we can add another step, is the top. We are going to take tops, and we are going to close the bottle. It's filled, then we close it with the top. And at the end, in the output, we got the bottle with its top. And another step, if we add a label, maybe with a sticker, in this stage, we are going to take the bottle and we're going to paste the label. And then we got at the output, we got the bottle with the juice closed and with the label. Then let's see in Blender how we can apply this concept. Well, here in geometry node, we have the cube selected. Then we have our input, our output. If I disconnect this input, then I don't have anything. We don't see the cube because nothing is getting here to the output. Then if I take this to this, I'm going to see the cube. I could add, let's see, geometry operation, transform geometry. I'm going to take this node, we're going to rotate or translate this cube. We have a transformation, then we have the input node, the output node, and the action node, that in this case is transform geometry, and we can make changes there. If we see in the shading, let's see in the shading, we have similar node, but this node is material output, and the shader that is by default, that is principal BSDF. We can take the color and put the color here. You see here, we don't need a input node. We got this action node, but we can add some other nodes right here. Input node, like you see, node, input node, like any of this. You got value, geometry, whatever you want. And we're in the compositor. We have to enable this. We got the render layer. We got the output. We can add here images or any other thing here. But let's add image. We got an image. Open an image here. Just need to open an image. This image. And we got this image, and we're going to take it to the output. Then we have in the output our image. And if we want to add another node, like let's see, maybe a color balance. Yeah, I could change this node. If I can see it better, I can add a output is a viewer. Then we can see the background, and we can make changes, and we are going to see what is happening to the original image. That is this. This is the action node that is changing the color of the image, and we got the output. We got the output of the composition is here, compositor. The output of the compositor is this, and this is the viewer. It's only for us to see in the background what it's happening. If we have in shading, we can get two. If we change to world, we got the world here. It's here, but really is a node too. And we can add here an image to light all the scene. In the same way, we have a world output. We got the output. We got an action node, and this in this case is a color. We're putting a color in the scene, and we can add images and many other things here. We could have two images to light the whole scene, the world. That's all. Then don't forget to like and to subscribe to our channel. Thank you.